I never wanted to get married. In fact, I put it out on Facebook saying, "Hey, does somebody have a skipping rope?" Because I thought it would be nice to see Ankita and my mother hopping up and down. Very lucky because I've got 1% of battery left.
Welcome to Showsha. How do you feel after finally connecting?
Yeah, I'm happy that I learned something new today. Uh, Thank you for that. Thank you. I have used Skype before, but it never really worked.
Well, you did this time.
This time will come through. Okay.
Okay, so how is your lockdown going? How is the quarantine going? What have you been up to? What's up?
It's basically taking a day, each day at a time. Lots to think about now. Now that we've been in lockdown more than 3 weeks. The first few days were really really tough because just getting used to that whole idea of not being able to go out, not doing the things that you're so used to doing. So now I think I've kind of adapted to that. I try and sneak out once in a while under the pretext of going to the market and buy fruits and vegetables, though it's not really necessary because you do get delivery.
Yeah.
It's the day is spent in sleeping, eating, exercising, calls from the office, trying to figure out what we're going to do after the lockdown, what the world is going to be like, what kind of business models are going to be possible. Because lots of people don't know, but I started work as an event manager in 1989. That was when I started my first company, and I still do events. In fact, the Pinkathon, people might know, is organized by my company, which is called Maximus. So just getting to understand that what would the whole world of events look like after the lockdown.
I have to ask you about this video that you recently shared with your mother. So
Yes.
inspiring, and she's exercising, and the video is so inspiring in itself. Please tell us about that.
Well, once in a while I do post videos with my mother because I know it's inspiring. It's something that people must see. If I was out there and there was another person like that at that age and with that kind of enthusiasm and energy, I would love to see it because it is inspiring. It'll make me get out of bed and do something with my life. And I've always been interested in people who are a little older and how they deal with their lives and how they just don't give up and they don't stop and they just keep going, and it doesn't matter how old they are. It's really about how old they feel. Like the mascot of Pinkathon is 105 years old, and she is today the world champion in her age group in the 100 and 200 meter sprint, and also in the javelin throw and the shot put. She's 105 years old, so it's amazing, those kind of stories. So I put it up. My mother learned how to do push-ups last year, so I put up push-up pictures. She now does a 2-minute plank, so sometimes I put up a video planking. Then this was something that I wanted to do. I've never done skipping in my life, and I know that she used to do a lot of skipping when she was younger. And so I just said, let me get. In fact, I put it out on Facebook saying, hey, does somebody have a skipping rope? Because I had one and I didn't have another one. And then immediately I got another skipping rope. That was amazing. That's the amazing thing about social media. And then we just did a little skipping together, and that was it. It was amazing. And also the week before, last week, we were on the terrace, the three of us, my wife Ankita and my mother and I. And I said, why don't you try hopping, And that is something I used to do a lot of when I was a kid. We used to have races, hopping races called Langdi,
Yeah.
And my mother as well. And I think the generation today and the kids today don't really do a lot of those kind of games and stuff. So I thought it would be nice to see Ankita and my mother hopping up and down. Even that was, people thought that was quite amazing. But my mother is inspiring. To be at the age of 81 and be so active and so enthusiastic, just wanting to try new stuff. That is the whole thing, just never think that you've seen everything or tried everything. Just go out and try as many new things as you can.
And you also celebrated your anniversary recently. Congratulations and a belated happy anniversary. How was that like?
It's good. I mean, part of the lockdown is also the experience is living with the people that you love, of course, but because again, we're not so used to it. We go to the office and everybody has their own life and they go out, they do stuff. You're never together with anybody 24/7, right? And during this period, you are. And even if even if the people that you love, you still want your own space, you want your own time, and it's very difficult to manage that. So it gives you more insight into the kind of person you are, and you try to be more compassionate because everyone's going through the same, similar things, and you try to understand the situation better from another person's point of view. So it's a great learning experience, and I think the 2 years that we've spent married they've been wonderful. I mean, I never wanted to get married because to me it was like, I don't know how I managed it, just being with somebody all the time. And so therefore the lockdown is even exacerbated all the time. This is all the time. That was not all the time. This is all the time. But I think it's been lovely. I think we really understand each other well. We support each other. I think we're very, very happy.
That's great. Speaking of 4 more shots, please.
Yes.
Everybody seems to be talking about the show. Everybody loves it. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this season specifically?
I think, well, I'm not really, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I read the script, of course. This was early last year. And situations they've come up with are very, very interesting because they bring out the characters at different levels, thought processes. And I know a lot of people say, oh, women are not really like this and women are not like that. But I think what is great about the show is that it really gives you an insight into situations which maybe you have not been a part of, but then allow you to experience, just by watching these girls. And maybe you don't agree with what they did, but it forces you to think about what you would do. I mean, maybe you don't agree with them, and maybe you say that they're foolish, and at a certain level, and they need to be smarter, and why they're so confused. But it makes people think, and I really love stories like that made people think about, if I was in that situation, what would I do? I don't agree with her, and I don't agree with her, and maybe this guy should have done something else. And what would you have done in that situation? So I think in that sense, at this period in India, where there's so much happening and there's so many different levels of society and so many different cultures that are developing today. Earlier we had just maybe one or we had two, and now we've got subcultures and we've got people doing crazy stuff. And to some of the audience, I feel they'll say, no, girls are not like this. Girls don't go through these things. Girls don't think these things. They don't. But you don't know, because now there are so many different levels in our society. And our society is today influenced by so many subcultures from across the world and so many thought processes from across the world. So you need to understand it from that perspective, that you may not do this, you may not think this, you may not believe this, but now there are people all around you who do. That is the world today. So I think it's quite a mind-expanding series that has come up, and I think that's why people are liking it. That's why it's doing well.
Okay, so you know how girls have been going absolutely crazy about you, like ever since forever. Ever since forever. Also in the series, your character has been getting a lot of love, right from the first season itself. But also for this season, when towards the end, when your character decides to take up the responsibility of Damini's child, even after the fact that you've broken up, right? That sort of really stands out, especially with a lot of girls, because if they're in a situation like that, they would obviously want the man to stand up and not just run away. And you're literally doing that. So that sort of adds cherry to the cake. What do you have to say about your character and this entire thing?
Again, it's interesting. And even if you see Jay's character, played by Pratik, even he is willing to accept the child, even though it's from another man. And that again is wonderful, and that again makes you think, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
And the men, for a girl, it's like, what would the men around me do? What would my father have done? What would my brother do? What would my boyfriend or my husband do? So those kind of situations are really, really interesting. I mean, I know for me as a person, if it happened to me, I would have said the same thing that Vaksi said. I would have said the same thing, even knowing that the girl is not in love with me.
Hmm.
She's in love with someone else.
Yeah.
She's to be with me, but this is our child, and it's happened now. It's here, and we have to accept it and move forward and provide the best that we can for that child. And I think that's when you look at things with a very open mind, when you don't have the whole thing of whether you've been told that this is the way things should be, this is the way things are right, and this is the way things are wrong. You're able to decide then for yourself, and based on the situation as it occurs and the people around you, what is the best way? There is no one best way, right? The best way depends on so many things.
That's all we had, Milind. It was amazing chatting with you, and I'm glad we could finally connect and do this. What do you have to say? End comments.
Okay, I'm very lucky because I've got 1% of battery left.
Okay.
But lovely talking to you. Lovely talking to you.
Same here, same here. Thank you so much, and I hope that after when the lockdown ends, we get a chance to meet again. Not like this, but in person, and talk a little more about your upcoming projects.
Absolutely. Anytime. All the best. Have fun. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.